All right, welcome back, everybody. We got us a settlement time. We're gonna go ahead and jump right on into these numbers, man. These numbers can be deceiving. They look like the driver did pretty damn well this week, but we're gonna go ahead and do a deep dive. We also going to use the help of AI. We're gonna use some Chat GPT to help us break down these numbers and get down to the nitty gritty, some operating cost of cents per mile and all of that good stuff, man. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. I ain't wasting no time. So for this week, I had grossed $8,287.57. That's what I had ended up grossing for the week. $8,000. That is a damn good week, man. Let me see something. Hold on. Where a good sound effect there. Oh man, I can't even find something. That'll work. For deductions, I had a total deductions $5,360.17. My Lord. Woo! Ooh-wee! That's a lot of damn deductions right there. That's over half. You know, my mental math ain't that great. But I believe that half of an 8 is a 4 and 5 is greater than 4. I do believe. Man, okay. Let's go ahead and get on through this, though. I ended up with a net. That means after JB got their cut, after Schneider got their cut, after fuel, after whatever else that had came out, I pocketed $2,927.40. Oh man, so out of $8,000, you can say that I walked away with $3,000. Oh man, I swear it is rough out here for a pimp. It is so hard out here for a pimp. So hard, I'm starting to feel like the 304. My Lord. Sheesh. Alright. So like I said, man, so I ended up grossing $8,000, $8,287.57 with deductions of $5,360.17 with a net of $2,927.40. So let's go ahead and scroll down to the next page if we can. Go ahead and get to the next page, the next page. All right. Boom. Let's look at some of these deductions, what we got. All right. So I have a driver legal plan, advances, base plate. All right, bobtail insurance, fuel for this week was $2,000. That is a big one right there. So fuel is $2,000. Okay. Liability limiter, $49. Let's see, oil and death for this week was $157. I got physical damage insurance, that's $65. They're gonna charge you for using the tablet. Toll usage, toll roads, $200. All right. What else we got? We got escrow, a weekly escrow of $100 that came out. If the admin fee that came out, load board fee of $50 for the load board. Scales, weight station bypass, $3. Fuel and use tax payment. We have road service administration, $50. Tire maintenance, $525. Maintenance tractor deduction, $582. All right, so tire maintenance and tire tractor deduction, $582. Okay, I have a SFI truck payment of $1,159. And I also have a withholding order of support. All right, let's go ahead and get now to the next slide. We have some earning details. Fuel surcharge, $800. Because that's where I'm going to get my money at. Fuel surcharge. Another fuel surcharge of $102. Another fuel surcharge, $320. Another fuel surcharge, $575. Fuel surcharge, $412. All right. And we add up all the revenue from the loads. Right, when I add up all the revenue for the loads, all right, let's go ahead and do it right. So my first load for the week, it had paid $1,872. That second load I had made was $486.26. My next load was $1,265. Load after that, $905. And then the final load for the week was $1,530. Okay, that was after JB had got their cut. That was what I was left with last. So what does that all mean? We are going to use ChatGPT to help break down these numbers. We're going to use AI. Like, why not? Why not? See if we can't blow that up for y'all. I think y'all can see that on y'all end right there. That looks good. All right. It said, let's go ahead and break this thing down. Gross, $8K. Like I said, deductions, $500. So all you have to do if you want to use AI, let's go ahead and do this. Download your settlement or take a picture of it. Upload that picture of that document to ChatGPT, and AI should do the rest for you. You don't necessarily have to use ChatGPT. You could use Grok. You could use Gemini. All of these tools are available for you to use. I do believe that the free version will help you with your math, but I go ahead and I spend $20 a month. It's basically $5 a week. Shit, I eat that in chicken nuggets every week, so might as well go ahead and use that to be productive and be a better owner operator, So deductions, $5,360. Net take home, $2,927. It says that I kept 35%. So the last time I did this, I was saying that I was at 29%, less than the industry standard. Now I'm right there on target. 35% of total gross for the truck is what I ended up taking, which is pretty good. Considering all things. This was pretty good. Not great, but pretty good, right? There's always room for improvement. And it says that 65% had went out the door. We got that 65-35 split going the other way, giving the money away. Not giving it away, but it going towards other stuff. It says main revenue streams, percentage of the revenue, $6,000. Fuel surcharge was $2,000. Escrow interest, $6.67. And it says that the fuel surcharge did the heavy lifting again. Once you do Once you start creating a work history with your AI, it will remember the conversation for the most part, like fuel surcharge. I'm getting paid off a fuel surcharge. It remembered that prompt. It remembered that. It was like, yeah, fuel surcharge is doing the heavy lifting again. All right. Without it, this week looks very different. You don't say. Shit, it's a damn bloodbath without the fuel surcharge. You would think that the way that things are, they would just go ahead and just pay a proper amount, but that's not how trucking works for some reason. I don't know. Fuel breakdown, the big drag. Fuel purchases, $2,000. Oil and DEF, $157. Total fuel for the week, $2,218. All right. Fuel surcharge is basically just reimbursing your fuel, not boosting your profit. This is what artificial intelligence is saying. Like, bruh, if you ain't have fuel surcharge, you'll be running and operating for free. That's what you'll be doing. You'll be just driving this truck just to say that you drive a damn truck. You a truck driver. Yep. Well, how much you get paid? Well, I get paid in sunshine, diesel fumes, and great views. That's what I get. I get good views. I get great views, sunshine, and diesel fumes. That's what I get paid in, without the fuel surcharge. Okay, just enough so I can pick up some roller dogs off the Loves. If it wasn't for Love's point system, I probably would be hungry too. I probably would be. I eat roller dogs quite often off the fuel points, off my points. Shoot, and get me a free drink every day. I utilize the free drinks too. Damn, when I think about it, I fill up my Yeti about twice a day off a free. Get my free refills. I need that. All right, fixed and semi-fixed cost. The real pressure. SFI truck payment is $1,159.81. That comes out every week on schedule, on time. Rain, sleet, snow, hail. If you're sick, it's coming out. You're going in labor, it's coming out. Oh, your child is sick, is coming out. If you had to take some time off for your mental health, that payment is coming out. And if you are short, guess what they're going to do? They're going to call you, right? They're going to call you. They're going to call you or send you an email, whatever your choice of communication is. They're going to contact you and say, hey, you were short. How you going to make up that payment? You do have some options, but how you going to get it done? Now, with a person like me, I have a nice work history. They'll be like, hey, man, what you can do is just roll this thing over because you've been a good little driver, right? You've been making your payments on time, you know. We can work with you. You for some reason, you like coming back to us, even though we charge a premium for our products and you don't mind paying that premium. So we're going to work with you since you work with us. You know, that's just me. Right? They're gonna ask you how you're gonna pay it. They're gonna ask you that. First, they're gonna let you know that you're short, you know, because you know that you're gonna take some time off, right? You needed to go home, spend some time with the family, you know, say it was your birthday weekend, so you wanted to turn up. And they get that. They understand that. They know that you wanna go ahead and get jiggy with it. Hey, they know that. They know that. And when you come back to the truck, or if it's late, if that money ain't on time, they're going to contact you. They want to get jiggy too. Ooh, they want to get jiggy too. Just make sure you put that money where it's supposed to go, so we can do what it do. All right? They want their money. They want their money and they're gonna contact you. $1,100 every week. It's coming out. All right. Tire maintenance. That was $1,158. Now, what I had did this week, I had got 2 tires put on the truck. I definitely had did that. And let me tell you, I had needed 2 front tires. One thing I ain't gonna front. I'm not gonna front. SFI, they got a pretty decent maintenance program. Their discounts on their tires is pretty damn great. You know, JB Hunt got a nice little discount on their tires too. But SFI, you know, you could just make a phone call. They could get everything set up for you pretty much anywhere in the country that has a SFI SFI account. Cause SFI got loan money. Let's go. Let's not kid ourselves. Schneider has long paper. Okay, they got paper. You say, oh, you with Schneider? No problem. You walk up into any tire shop in the country, anywhere, except for these little small little bootleg, jackleg. But any major joint, you say, yo, this is a Schneider, and they're gonna be like, oh, no problem, just go ahead and give us a PO or do whatever it is that you gotta do on your side, and you go ahead and you pull on around to the tire bay, because that's good money right there. That's good money. We ain't even gotta worry about you. We know that money coming. That's an SFI truck. Come on in. Park your truck, drop your trailer, and pull around to door number 2. Yeah. We ain't gotta waste no time with you. We ain't gotta waste not now, other moment with you, because we know that money good over there at Schneider. Right? Good reputation, great reputation. All right, insurance, $160. That's why I love them. That's why I love Schneider Finance. You ain't even gotta worry about too much, man. All right, tolls and tablets was $300 this week. Escrow, weekly escrow of $100. All right, and then it says the real story. I had a strong gross week, solid, good loads. Yep. And the fuel surcharge kept you from getting crushed by the fuel. Boy, AI will go ahead and talk to you. It said fuel surcharge kept you from getting your head bust open to the white meat, dog. Don't kid yourself. Do not kid yourself. You work like a damn dog. It felt like it too. And fuel surcharge saved you. Thank you for the fuel surcharge, people. All right, it says what's holding you back? Fuel plus fuel surcharge canceled each other out. Truck and maintenance, $2,300 plus this week. So we already know that truck payment, that's going to come out every week, regardless, until I pay this thing off. Until I pay it off, right? Usually what people do, they can save up enough money before time to probably go someplace else and shortcut it. But we gonna see what I can do, though. I'm gonna see if I can't go ahead and work through it and possibly like rework that balloon payment somehow. That's what the plan is. A platinum plan. Okay. It says you're working hard, but a lot of it is just feeding the machine. My God. As soon as before I even get it, the machine takes 65% of it. That's how it goes. And then it goes on and it breaks down some more numbers. It says gross without the fuel surcharge, $8,000 minus the $2,000. And it says that left me with $6,000, right? without the fuel surcharge. Okay, now subtract that same deduction. That 6,000 minus 5 would have gave me a net of just $700. If I didn't have a fuel surcharge, if I didn't have the fuel surcharge, my net would be out of that fuel surcharge, man, $700. $700. That's what I would have been bringing home. All right, efficiency. Miles driven, total miles driven for the week was 3,719 miles. My gross cents per mile, $2.23, and my net cents per mile is 78 cents. Okay, 78 cents. That's what I netted. Okay, that's basically Russian carrier money. Come on now. That's basically Chicago land money right there, right in that 70-80 cent company driver money. That's what that is. Okay, it says after the fuel removed, the true net was 18 cents. Okay, 25 cents. That's more like mega trucking carrier. That's more like mega carrier right there. 18 cents to 25 cents per mile. Yeah, man, they got this math all figured out, boy. I promise you, boy. The people that run these trucking companies and put together the fuel surcharge and crunch the numbers when it comes to, leasing these trucks, man, with mega carriers and all of that, they know every detail of this industry, what your truck can pull, how much it can haul, the specs on your truck, the weight limits. They know everything is connected. Hey, as soon as you put that truck number into the system, they know what the limitations, what your truck can do, man. They know, dog. They got this thing figured out to the T. Where you can go to be, where you can go, where you can't go, where you should go, the recommendations where you should fuel. They got this thing figured out to the T. If you go from the Southeast up to the Midwest, from the Midwest back down to the Southeast, they know that. If you can run you a nice little triangle from the Southeast up to the Northeast, over to the Midwest, down to the Southeast, down from the Southeast over to the Southwest, they got this thing figured out. They got it figured out, bro. They got it figured out to the T, bro. And the math is gonna work out the same way every time. The math will work out the same way every time. That's why we're kind of in the matrix. The only way that you could get up out of the matrix is you really do your own thing. You know what I mean? You got to really do your own thing. Have your own truck. Have your own customers. That's the only way. Other than that, you're going to be basically doing the industry standards. 70 to 80 cents, 15 to 25 cents. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what, I ain't said it. I'm just reading the numbers what AI presented. And I'm just adding some context and some depth to it. That's all I'm doing. It says I can focus on my revenue per mile. I can reduce the fuel burn. I can save on and survive a breakdown. Okay. Boom, boom. Got me a nice little thumbnail right there. Now I asked for my operating costs. My operating cost per mile. Operating cost per mile. Total deductions, $5,360.17 divided by total miles. That's how I'm going to get my cost per mile. So my deductions divided by total miles. That gave me an operating cost of $1.44 per mile. It cost me $1.44 to crank this truck up. This truck right here costs me $1.44 per mile. I could technically book loads at $1.50 a mile, but I would prefer something around $3.44 per mile. I prefer that. But $1.44 per mile is what it costs me. That's my operating cost whenever I crank this thing up and decide to go ahead and put it over the road. $1.44 per mile. That's fuel, truck payment, maintenance, fees, insurance, and tolls. Now, it would be a little bit cheaper if you know what? I'm not going to say that it's not a little bit, that it would be a little bit cheaper, because I don't know what it would be if I had my own insurance and own tags. I don't know that just yet. But running under JB Hunt's authority, let's go ahead and put some truth to it, it costs me $1.44 per mile. So running under JB Hunt's authority while making the payment at Schneider, my operating cost of this 2020 Freightliner is $1.44 per mile. All right. Now, my gross per mile is $2.23 per mile. Okay, so my gross in this truck is $2.23 per mile. My operating cost, $1.44 per mile. Go ahead and do the math on that, and I end up with a profit margin of 79 cents per mile. Right there in the Russian territory, right there, right in the Russian territory, right there. That's what we're doing. We're getting Russian money. All right. So that was a quick breakdown. Of the settlement. I have an operating cost of $1.44 per mile. I had gross $8K this week. I had netted $3,000 this week. Not bad, but not great. And we're using AI. To help break down the numbers. If you like this type of content, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead. This week we had booked the load going out to California. It pays a little over $8K. Hopefully we could get this week up to around about $9K gross and see what that comes up with, man. But until next time, this is your boy AK. Hey, we out, dog.